Now, the UK Telegraph has reported this week that the Jamaican government has urged the King to support slavery reparations. Now, what are they seeking and what are their chances of getting it?
Well, if you follow the British media more closely, this has become a sort of cyclical occurrence. I can expect a story like this every 3 to 6 months with some sort of country asking for reparations from the UK. And usually, if you dig a little deeper, it's because the government in question is in trouble back home, and their own popularity ratings are plunging. I mean, we've seen these sorts of calls for Britain to pay reparations into the trillions of pounds. Actually, I mean, completely ludicrous numbers being plucked up from the sky. David Cameron, back in the early 2010s, when he was on a state visit to Jamaica, he faced similar calls as well. The King has faced similar calls even when he was Prince of Wales. So it's something that the royal family and the British government have had to contend with many times. And it's usually people that take an ahistorical view of history that are very happy to try and push the British government to pay reparations. I mean, there's no kind of, I suppose, any moderation or any nuance with regards to the fact that it was actually the British Empire that ended slavery at great cost to the empire, and that it was very complicated, and that there were many of the slaves that were traded was traded by other Africans. And you don't hear any calls for people to get reparations from the Ashanti Empire, for example. So these are the kinds of things that come up regularly, and it's not a surprise, and we will keep seeing it. But I think it kind of fades into the background now when people get a more nuanced understanding of history and they don't try and pass on the sins of the father to the sons, effectively.
Yeah, fair enough. Now on to the Invictus Games, and we understand that Prince Harry is planning to ask King Charles and Prince William to the Games. They are being held in the UK next. What's this all about? Where did this all come from?
Yeah, so we know that Prince Harry, in his own interesting way, has been trying to reconcile with the royal family. We know that his last interview with the BBC, where he said that life is short and he would love reconciliation with his family. And so we understand that he's, again, reaching out to his family and extending an olive branch. And the reason why he's doing this is because the next Invictus Games is set to be in 2027. Now, I mentioned before that King Charles in particular has his diary booked almost 3 years in advance, and it's not uncommon for the Prince of Wales either. And so by getting this in the diary, I think Prince Harry is hoping that any scheduling conflict will be resolved. But I think what he's really failing to understand is not the fact that, they don't want to attend his events or anything like that. It's the fact that, particularly for the King, and I'm sure for Prince William as well, privacy is extremely important. And many of the members of the royal family, particularly the Queen, the King, and the Prince and Princess of Wales, cannot guarantee that any conversation they have with Prince Harry won't be leaked to a news outlet the following day. And that's something that I think he's struggling to come to terms with. I mean, once you've basically aired out your family's dirty laundry, or at least your side of it, in such a public way, and you've created this public rift in such a spectacular way, people really struggle to trust you. And if he's all about reconciliation and trying to, amend bridges and life being short, why isn't he extending an invitation to Thomas Markle, his father-in-law, which, as we understand it, he has a very limited relationship with? So these are the kinds of things that people are raising their eyebrows at, because Prince Harry just doesn't seem to understand that it's not just about, trying to extend an olive branch or doing interviews. It's the fact that the thing his family values the most, privacy, is not guaranteed with his family.
Well, and that takes me to the next point, I suppose. Look, he's spoken this week, Harry, that is about compassion and that he regrets his role in the royal rift. Now, Esther, is this progress or tone deafness?
It's a bit of both. So he did speak at the Nexus Global Summit, and the main point he was, trying to emphasize was the need for compassion. Now, on the side of him, I suppose, lamenting his role in the rift with the royal family, this has actually come from a royal author. So not actually from Prince Harry's own lips, or else that would be headline news, and we'd see clips regurgitating all over the time on social media. But this is someone who claims to have inside knowledge and is saying, on some level, he's regretting his role in the rift. And I actually don't think so. I mean, he has said, even in his last BBC interview, that he knows that they're members of his own family that will never forgive him for what he's done, but he doesn't regret it. He feels like he needed to do that. He needed to put that out there. And for him to try and amend, or to try and, resurrect some sort of relationship from the ashes of what he's basically destroyed, is quite a peculiar thing, because I don't think on some level he really thought that this kind of excommunication, which effectively is his family have excommunicated him, would be this deep and this permanent, even in the wake of the fact that the King is undergoing cancer treatment, and in the wake of the Princess of Wales' own health issues. But unfortunately, that is the bed that he's made. I don't see his wife being particularly keen to try and, heal that rift neither with her family or his family, certainly. So it's just a reality he's going to have to get used to, unfortunately, because it seems like it's calcified quite significantly.
Esther Krakue, a pleasure as always.